Hey guys, it's Riah from Riahs Tie-Dye. So I have just realized we don't have an actual classic rainbow spiral on the channel. So I'm going with a liquid dye rainbow spiral for this t-shirt. I have a ladies fitted v-neck t-shirt here and it's in my size, but you know, if anybody does want to snatch it up, let me know. So for today, this has been soaked in soda ash. It has been spun out in the washer, and so it's damp. And I'm using a hemostat to swirl today. If you've been on my channel before, you've probably seen me do a million spirals. I'm not going to go into big detail about it. So I'll start off and then we'll speed that up a little bit, and then we're gonna tie it with my good old green dyed rubber bands that I haven't used in forever. So we're just gonna get started. I have my hemostat. You don't need it super tight, but you're gonna pick where you want the center of your spiral to be, and you just pinch it a little bit, lock your hemostat on there. Don't do it super tight because you're gonna have to take it out. And then you're just gonna start to twist. And when you do that, you're just gonna kind of try to control your pleats. So you don't have to go nuts or anything, but you don't want your pleats to be at weird heights. So you don't want them, you don't want a bunch of weird big ones and then a bunch of little tiny ones. Sometimes it happens, but you can always undo it and redo it. And I just kind of push them down as I go. Now, when we are done doing this, we are going to let it dry out overnight for a day, whatever you need to do. When it's dry, it doesn't bleed as much, I don't think. From my experiences, like the last, I don't even know, 10 videos, they've been dried up. And I like it better, so that's what we're doing. We're letting them dry first and then dyeing them. So we're definitely going to go with a rainbow on this one. I like my rainbows with pink in it, so I'm probably going to go with pink instead of red. And, you know, I love my typical rainbow colors like lime pop and bright yellow. Love red violet. However, I do have a lavender. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. So... Alright, so instead of me talking, I will just finish this up, and if I come to anything else, I'll stop and let you know. Alright, you guys, so now we have this spiraled up. So before we take the hemostat out, we're going to put a couple of rubber bands in there to hold it together. You can also tie this with a kite string if you want. I personally like my spirals with a rubber band. I don't like my spirals super duper tight, just for the reasons I don't really like a whole lot of white in my shirt. So personally, I use rubber bands when it comes to spirals. Now, if you have something specific, like you really want it tight because you want a lot of white in there, I would go with the kite string. Just be careful and make sure you're being very even with your kite string. And if you pull too hard with kite string, you're gonna kind of bind up some of your fabric. So it's gonna pull really close, kind of like how this rubber band is pulling it in too much. If you pull too hard on your kite string, it's gonna pull your fabric in too much. So you can use as many as you want. Definitely leave room for dye though. So if you don't leave room for dye, you'll have an issue. Now when you're liquid dyeing, remember too that if you hit the tip of your bottle on these rubber bands, it's probably gonna spray dye where you don't want it. I have done that 1,000,001 times, so be careful doing that. Now we're gonna take out our hemostat. So I unlocked it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, but not too much. you want to try to pull and pull up at the same time because you really don't want to put a hole in your shirt. So if you are pulling this open as much as you can while kind of rocking it back and forth, it shouldn't be an issue. And I put my finger down in the fabric too, just so I don't pull the middle of my shirt up. There we go. Hemostat out. So now we have a nice spiral ready to go. So you can dye this wet if you want to. I'm gonna let mine dry out and I will be back for the dyeing. All right, you guys, so this is our spiral. I know you can see the border on here. I kind of changed my mind. I like to ice dye my stuff, but this one I thought we could do a different kind of dye pattern so it'll still be rainbow, just in a weird way. So this is not going to be like our muck dye. That was kind of a weird dye placement. This is definitely going to be a weird dye placement too, but I think this one's going to look good, and this one's not going to be sitting in the muck either. So hopefully this one's going to look different and cooler. So just for colors, you're going to see exactly how I put my dyes on here as soon as I do it, but I drew half and half lines on my shirt. I have stock red from Grateful Dyes, deep orange from Dharma, lemon yellow from Grateful, lime pop from Dharma, baby blue from Grateful, seashell blue from Grateful, and red violet from Dharma. So you'll see how I do my color placement on here. It's kind of obvious which ones are which, so if you have any questions, let me know. However, they are pretty obvious. I have a little card here I'm going to try to line up so I can maybe put my dye up against it. I've done that before, but we're going to try it. So after we do that, we're going to sprinkle some soda ash on top, put ice on top of that. I'm going to put it in my Rubbermaid tote, and then leave it for at least 24 hours, maybe more if you feel like you need to. I definitely always try to lift these up a little bit, check the bottom, make sure it was saturated all the way through. And then when you go to rinse it, make sure you rinse it in cold first to get rid of the soda ash, and then warm it up to help with the excess dye, and we can open it up. So let's get started. Hey guys, so I know we had a pretty interesting dye placement for this here swirl, but I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised, and I can't wait to open it anyways. So, baby blue, seashell blue, red violet, stock red, deep orange, lemon yellow, lime pop. Pretty sure is the only colors I used. So definitely did a weird dye pattern on it, but sometimes when you do that, it's even better. Better than the regular old pie slices, so it's pretty quick, maybe. All right, here we go. Oh, that looks good, and this is gonna look way different after it's washed and dried, so check out the thumbnail of our video for the washed and dried version. That's what we do for all of our thumbnails of our videos. And we'll have to do more rainbow spirals in different ways, because I bet you we can come up with some awesome ones doing weird dye patterns. So keep coming back and watching for more. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? It's right there. We can be friends. Come back next time. Thanks again. Happy tie-dyeing.